A-plus mock draft time once again here in the Sportsocracy, coming to you from the Ingles studio. Let's go with the San Francisco 4th and Niners. 3 third-round picks for this team. They got a lot.
They wait a long time.
Right.
And then they show up a whole bunch of times.
Right. You got, 3 third-round picks. You got 7 fifth-round picks. You got 8 7th-round picks. They got a lot.
It's a bunch.
They got a lot to do.
It's about, you're deep when I had to make a trade in the 5th round because you don't have enough spots on your roster for this many players.
First pick at number 99 overall. In the 3rd round, Yaya Diaby, edge rusher at Louisville.
There's a lot to like about this kid. Look, is he raw? Yes. Is he a situational pass rusher? Yes. There's also just not that many people on this planet that at 6'3", 260 pounds can run a 4.5 40. I think San Francisco's an ideal fit for him because he is a base end in a 4.3 to me. And if you've got somebody to rotate with him the way that you see with San Francisco, I think that would be ideal. But the height, weight, speed is intoxicating. And how many players have we seen San Francisco bring in that were really raw, and all of a sudden they just see ball, get ball? Mm-hmm. And I think he can do that immediately. And I would say he's more developed than a lot of these guys, the whether it's Samson Abukum or whatever the case may be. Now, I do love Drake Jackson, and I think he's going to be an absolute dog when given the chance to be this year. But another piece does not hurt because you lost several pass rushers in the offseason.
3rd round, 101 overall. All these compensatory picks for building the great front office that they did there in San Francisco. 101 overall, Wanya Morris, offensive tackle from Oklahoma.
I think there's a lot to this kid. He was a very, very ballyhooed prospect coming out. Wound up at Tennessee, transferred to Oklahoma, and I'm going to go the way Lance Zierlein said this. He's a 5-star prospect that does not have 5-star tape. Now, there is some of it. It just wasn't consistent enough. So do I think he's a day one starter? He could be in the right situation. I think he could start on the right side in San Francisco. And ultimately, you plan on him being the replacement to Trent Williams 2 or 3 years down the line. Because I do think he has that potential. He just wasn't coached that way. And I'm not going to lie. I love high-end recruits that start in these spready-ass offenses because they come to the NFL and learn how to really play football. And all of a sudden, you've got an outrageous value, and I think it could be him.
And, of course, all of the accolades that he has earned pale in comparison to his choice on the Amon-Ra St. Brown team.
Yeah, that's no doubt. I'm sure he's going to announce that when he gets drafted.
Right. It was an honor to be chosen by Flostradamus Jeremy Green as a member of the Amon-Ra St. Brown team, guys that he likes in this draft more than the industry. At 102, the very next pick, San Francisco takes Dontavian Wicks, wide receiver from Virginia.
This is one of my favorite receiver prospects in this class because if you didn't pay attention, then he gets bumped down the board because the production fell off a cliff last year. But what people don't realize, the offense sucked.
Oh, Virginia fans know it.
Oh, all 7 of them.
They all realize, hey, we suck.
You went from one of the highest-powered offenses in the ACC to a team that could not score in a whorehouse covered in hundreds. That's a huge difference, especially when you have one elite receiver. You couldn't give him the ball. He's still the same guy. 6'1", 206. He's one of the only big-bodied receivers, I think, that goes in the first 2 days outside of the Quentin Johnston and a few others. I love this kid, and I think he can get it. We only ran a 4.62. I don't care. Watch the tape. Watch the tape. He plays faster than that. He was an absolute deep threat monster in 2021. Fell off a cliff in 22, but that wasn't really his fault.
San Francisco.
I'm going to start calling that Will Levising, by the way.
Okay.
Oh, his tape sucked his last year. Yeah, but was it his fault? Oh, he didn't have anybody to throw to? Or he didn't have anybody to throw to him? Okay, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of guys that can get past that.
San Francisco sits out the 4th round as it sits with their first pick in the 5th round at 155 overall. You got them taking a Roschon Johnson running back out of Texas. Shocker of shockers, San Francisco in a running back.
I love this kid. I really do. I love this kid. I think in the right system, he can be an absolute bulldog. If he had played anywhere else, I think we would be talking about him in day 2. He was stuck behind Bijan Robinson, so he never really developed. Doesn't have the high-end speed, but I think if you get him in this one-cut kind of offense where he runs to where it's blocked. Because that's one of his biggest problems, was being indecisive. Okay, so I take that away.
Mm-hmm.
Now you run to the hole that we blocked for you. You cut through that, put your foot in the dirt, and go. And once he gets up to speed, he is really freaking hard to stop. I think he is I'm not going to say he's a LeGarrette Blount level, because I think he's actually better than that. He's just a hammer. And you mix him with Christian McCaffrey and the other guys they got in that backfield, it makes things a lot easier no matter who your quarterback is.
Next up, we have a trade.
Gotta love a trade in the 5th round of a mock draft.
San Francisco trades with Houston to get up to 161 overall. They give up their 173 pick in the 5th round and 216 in the 6th.
I make a rule of really paying attention when I hear the same name come from every person that talks about a team. It's Jarek Bernard-Converse, the cornerback out of LSU. This is the longer off-man type of corner that San Francisco really likes. We've had, over the 4 years you and I have been doing drafts like this, seems like San Francisco has a guy every single year that every single person tells us about, and guess what? We're batting 1,000.
Right.
3 for 3 so far. That's this guy this year.
Okay.
And I will be stunned if he doesn't wind up on this team. And look, San Francisco is going to move around the board.
Mm-hmm.
They may do it on the high side because you don't have room for this many players on your roster. So am I getting a little cute here? Yeah, because I couldn't find a range for him. And so you make an audible, get him in here. Jarek Bernard-Converse is a guy that I really, really think ends up with the San Francisco 49ers.
3 picks later at 164, Antonio Mafi, offensive guard from UCLA.
He's a big damn dude. 6'3", 338. He's going to help in the run game right now. I think in a power zone type of offense, I think he can be productive immediately. Look, he's a big friggin' bulldozer. That's what he does. Not great as a pass pro, but I think you can coach that into him. And he's been one of the players that's been on the most visits of any player in this draft. So that means somebody's seeing a lot of something in him. And I think he helps you in the run game right now. He's just a monster of a man, and he is freakishly strong.
7th round, 4 picks between 222 and 255 for San Francisco. The first one, 222, Dante Stills, defensive tackle from West Virginia.
Can I sing the song?
Go ahead.
I'm not going to. No. Draft night, I will. Day 3, it's a tradition unlike any other that we sing Country Roads as the draft winds down to a close. Dante Stills looks like an NFL football player, and he should, because his brother played in the league, his dad played in the league. I just feel like this is one of those guys that needs a year or 2 years in a strength and conditioning program, because he looks like a football player, but he's not. He doesn't have the appropriate strength, so he's going to be a bit of a project. But there's not many guys that are his size that can move the way he does. He's 290 pounds, and he's really fleet of foot. He was one of the more productive interior linemen that's in this class. I just don't know that he has I don't know that it's going to get any better. It's entirely possible that the reason he hasn't added weight to the frame and added genuine strength is because it's not there.
247th overall, Cameron Latu, tight end from Alabama.
This is a nice compliment to me for George Kittle. He is a good enough blocker. He's going to have to learn how to do that better, but he can do it now to a point that he could actually play. And he's really going to be good up the seam. I don't know that he really ever fit at Alabama. He's just not. It always looked clunky to me, but there is some potential there. You're going to have to work on his hands too, because he had a significant drops problem.
253rd overall, Jake Witt, tackle out of Michigan.
Northern Michigan.
Northern Michigan.
How many teams can I give this guy to? Because I absolutely love him. He is an athletic freak of nature, but you're probably going to need to put him in mothballs for 2 years. There's just not many guys and his story is fantastic. Started as a tight end, moved to right tackle in the middle of a game, and shut down one of the best pass rushers in D2 football. And has managed to be a good tackle from here on out. Seems like every team that gets him in the building falls in love with him. So I do think he will be drafted in this draft. And he goes to Northern Michigan, not Colorado Tech, or Michigan
Tech.
I keep seeing that places, and I don't know why.
What is Michigan Tech? 255, Jordan Howden, safety from Minnesota.
This is a real projection. Ran a 4.49 with a pretty good body type. He's just really instinctive. I mean, this is the stereotypical late round special teams guy because he was a captain. He's played a ton. I just don't know that I don't know that there's an upside that he ever plays on the defense because he doesn't. The back pedal's off. He doesn't cover particularly well, but he's a smooth athlete that's a good enough tackler to have a role somewhere. I just think it's as a special teams ace. Could he possibly? Is it possible that he wasn't asked to do the things that his skill set would allow? Maybe. I struggle to believe that. But he is, I think, going to be a really good special teams player in this league.
Well, you cannot expect the San Francisco 49ers to hit another grand slam in the 7th round like they did last year. What? You got a starting quarterback with the last pick of the draft.
I get it. I'm much more fond of Brock Purdy's sister than I am of him.
You have no picks in the first couple of rounds of the draft, but going to be very heavily involved in the 3rd and the 5th rounds, and yes, the 7th round as well. Your A+ mock draft for the San Francisco 49ers.
If you like these picks, if you hate these picks, if there's somebody you would like to ask me how I think they fit with San Francisco, or if you want to just call me dirty names and say I look like the Brony Man, feel free to do that in the comments. I answer all of those. I'm going to try to get to all of them before the start of the draft. We got a ton yesterday. We got a ton on Saturday, so I'm getting to them as quick as I can. And we will have my final mock draft coming out on the channel right before the draft starts on Thursday.
We are the Sportsocracy. You can like this video, share it out with your friends, subscribe to the channel so you can join us live for every pick of the NFL draft. We'll see you Thursday.